Hi folks, this is Rose from In Rose's Garden, and today we are going to work on something fun. In my latest Jesse James Beads Ambassador package, I got a spool of 18 gauge twisted artistic wire. Now this, I believe it's 3 wires twisted together. When I make a twisted wire, I usually just take a square wire and twist it. But, so I was like, what do we want to do with this? So I thought, oh, I think it will make a really pretty icicle. So I have got me a whole bunch of quartz and crystal beads out, and we're going to turn down and we're going to make an icicle out of these. So let's do that. Let's say we have the twisted artistic wire, and then I have all these pretty beads here that I have gathered up to make our icicle. Hopefully they'll all fit on my wire because I haven't tested it. But I figured we'd make a nice icicle. Let's see. With all these beautiful crystals. We'll just go down the row of crystals. Like so. Now that is about 5 inches, and then I've got bead caps, so that's going to add at least ½ inch to it, and we're going to put the bead caps around this one, then we're going to put the flat ones here on this one, and this one, and these little ones around this one down here. So what I want to do is I'm going to get out the wire. We're going to make a twisted loop at the top, wrapped loop, and then we're going to string the beads on, well, and the bead caps. Get to the end, leave some space, make another twisted a wrapped loop at the bottom, and then we're going to take our wire and we're going to come up and twist it all around these beads. Hopefully I cut enough when we do that. And if there's extra, because this is twisted wire, I think I'll untwist the ends and maybe make some little spirals. So let's get some wire out, and we'll see about stringing these up. Now, you want at least enough wire to go on the strand, another inch for your top, and then about 1 inch for the bottom, and then double your wire amount to wrap all the way back up. So I'm going to try and get out at least 20 inches here. Boy, this thing really unwinds itself when you unhook those two from each other. So we want about, like I say, about 20 inches of wire. And I am going to cut this end off because it is jagged and I do not think I can straighten it enough to make it worthwhile. So cut that bit off. Now we want to measure at least 20 inches. So it wanted to unravel there, doesn't it? Okay, let's see what we've got here. So I'm going to cut it about right here. Try and get this spool back together so it will stop twisting all over the place here. Now, like I say, I haven't used the twisted wire for this before, so I'm hoping this is going to work the way I hope that I have planned it. But we'll see here in a bit. I think I actually got 21 inches, and I'm not certainly going to complain about that. A little bit extra is better than not enough. Yeah, I did. Now, I'm trying to get this wire straightened because, let's face it, it's got to be relatively straight for our icicle. But we'll worry about that more in a minute. Looks like we're doing pretty good. So let's get our wrapped loop on this one end. So we'll make that just like we normally would with... I'm going to make the slightly larger loop. Give it like 3 or 4 wraps here. And then we'll trim off the extra and tuck it some. Now let's start stringing our beads and see how we did here. Okay, so first one's this big, huge, pretty crystal. Then we're going to put bead cap around this quartz bead here. And yes, this is a beautiful clear quartz rather than glass. I'm hoping all the beads will fit on this wire. Like I said, I didn't think to test it. If it won't, well, then we'll improvise. Come here, you. So far, so good. This doesn't look like it wants to fit, though I probably will take a bead reamer to it and make it work. So let's set this down right now, and I'm going to ream these out a little bit and see if we can get these to go on our wire. There we go. It's funny, since it's twisted wire, the bead is twisting as it goes. I mean, the cap is twisting as it goes down onto there. Looked sort of funny. And there we go. There's all our pretty crystal beads on our icicle. Now, you can see how flexible that is, and that's one of the reasons why we're going to go back up around it. It will stiffen that up some and make it a lot less flexible, but it's going to be very pretty. So let's make this loop down on this side. Like I say, I'm going to leave it a little bit of space because we're going to wrap. So do that. I'm just going to make this smaller loop on this end. I don't need a big one. And we're going to do 3 wraps, like so. And now we're going to slide the beads down a little bit as we start to wrap around. So we're going to bring this down here and wrap it. Bring the next one, wrap around it. And we'll just continue up the line like that, just wrapping as we go. Now, as you can see, when we got up here, we are just about out of extra space. Well, we are out of extra space. We're going to wrap around the original wrap here. And I want to go right down to the bottom of that wrap. And just wrap a few times around here. And then we will clip this off and tuck it in. And there is our wrapped icicle. Now, because we left this loop at the bottom, we could add a little snowflake or whatever we wanted down here to add a little bit of extra prettiness to it. Cut that off and tuck this extra bit of wire around. And I'm going to tuck it so it sort of goes inside the loop there. So there we are. Isn't that pretty? If it feels a little wonky to you, just play with it till it straightens up. And the next thing we're going to do is we're going to put a charm down at the bottom, and then we're going to make a hook for the top. So I am getting a jump ring out, and I got this really pretty snowflake that we are going to jump ring right onto the bottom. Only need one. So we'll just open this little link up, or this jump ring up. And hook our snowflake onto here. Now you could put any charm you wanted on here. You don't even have to put a charm on here. You could just turn this around and not even put the loop in here if you wanted. Gotta get hold of that baby. There we go. So there she is now with her snowflake on the bottom. And now we need to cut some wire to make our hook. Now the hook is not a hard thing to make. You don't need a lot. Probably, 5-6 inches. Actually, not even that much, because it's just going to be a big hook. So, let's see. I think I'll cut about 4 inches. Probably don't need that much. I'm probably going to end up trimming some of this off, but we do want plenty. So make sure both nope, this one's got a notch. We want to take that sharp edge off. Set this aside right here while we make our... Now to make this, you're going to need your bell making pliers. And all you do is, on one end, we do a small loop. And this is where it's going to hook onto our icicle. Then take the biggest one, go up about 1 inch or 2 because you want that space to hang it from, and then just bring this around. Now, because we don't want it just to be a make a little notch there. Like I say, we're going to cut some off right here. And this isn't as rounded as I like them to be, so I probably work it a little bit until it is more like I like it, which is just rounding here, bringing her over some. And I'm probably just going to turn a loop on this side as well so that it's not in the way like that. There we go. And if you want a bigger loop than this one is, which I actually prefer a bigger loop, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in here with my wire bell or wire mandrel. Just go down here and where it's at a little further, and then just go over and bend her over like so. Now see, I like this one much better than the original one I made, because I like this bigger loop to go over our branches. So now that I've got this bigger loop in it, I'll just open this up. Actually, first let's work harden it. It would help to make sure that it doesn't bend around on you too much. Now we'll open up this lower one of the loops here and hook our icicle right onto there and close her up. And there we are, one pretty icicle. Now this one's a little long. You may not want an icicle this long. And if you don't, just use less beads. Mine here is about, I'm guessing about 6 inches. Yeah, from top loop to bottom loop is 6 inches, and then with the snowflakes, it makes it 7. So, isn't that pretty? Now with this wire, like I said, it is a little flexible, but it's going to be hanging on the tree, so I don't think that's all that big of a deal. So, isn't that pretty? So there you have it, our pretty crystal and silver twisted wire icicle. Now, like I say, it wants to bend over a little bit, so I'll probably work with it a bit till it's a little more straight. Though when it comes right down to it, like I say, it's going to be hanging on the tree, so it's not going to be all that noticeable that it's a wee teeny bit crooked. But I like it. I think it's pretty. And I hope you enjoyed making it with me. This has been Rose from In Rose's Garden. We'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.